Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today, we're getting into a company that's been, well, absolutely lighting up the market this year, Micron Technology. And the really big question, the one everyone seems to be asking, especially after that, frankly, jaw-dropping guidance upgrade they just announced, is Micron Technology a good time to buy right now? We're aiming to go beyond just the headlines here, using the latest analyst reports, market signals, all of it to give you a full picture, risks and rewards. Before we dive in, please take a second to hit that subscribe button, give us a like if you find this helpful. And hey, if there's a specific company you want us to analyze next, drop it in the comments below. We really do read them all.
Yeah, it's a really pivotal moment to be looking at Micron. I mean, the memory chip market, it's always been defined by these brutal cycles, right?
Yeah.
Up and down. But this explosion in AI demand, and maybe more importantly, the type of chips AI needs, it feels like it might have genuinely repositioned the company. You're looking at a tech leader sitting right at this intersection of just massive, unprecedented growth in computing power. And their latest numbers, they definitely reflect that sudden, pretty aggressive momentum.
Okay, let's get into those numbers then, because they really were staggering. It wasn't just a small bump in guidance. For their Q4, fiscal 25 that is, they revised revenue up from about $10.7 billion to a huge $11.2 billion, give or take $100 million.
That's a big leap just on the top line.
It is. But honestly, the revenue,
Yeah.
that's almost the less interesting part here. It's the profitability, the margins.
Yeah.
Their non-GAAP EPS guidance, it jumped massively from $2.50 all the way up to $2.85. Again, plus or minus a bit, about 0 or 7 cents. And the key driver, it seems, was gross margins, revised up to 44.5% plus or minus 0.5%. For a memory company, I mean, that kind of margin, that feels like peak cycle territory, doesn't it? Does this tell us AI demand is really changing the game for profit structure?
It absolutely does. You nailed the critical point there. That 44.5%, that's not coming from just selling more, standard DRAM for PCs or phones. It's coming from the high value stuff, the high margin product mix, specifically HBM, high bandwidth memory.
Right.
HBM. And what's really fascinating is what those Q4 numbers imply. If things hold steady, that suggests an annualized revenue run rate getting close to $40 billion.
Wow, $40 billion.
Yeah, which puts Micron right back near where they were at previous cycle highs. But, and this is the key part, the composition of that revenue is just so much healthier because of HBM pricing. HBM is actually essential for AI. Think about NVIDIA's big compute clusters. They need this stuff. And here's why it might be structurally different this time. Making HBM is hard. You're stacking memory dies vertically, using advanced packaging. It's technically very complex.
Requires a ton of R&D, I bet.
Exactly. And that means supply is scarce.
Right.
That complexity helps keep pricing strong. And analysts, well, they seem to think this premium demand isn't just for this year. It could keep going right through 2026.
Okay, so that explains the analyst reaction then.
Absolutely. Very bullish responses across the board. Lots of buyer outperform ratings. You're seeing consensus price targets landing somewhere in the $150 to $160 range.
And some are even higher.
Oh, yeah. Some of the more aggressive calls are forecasting up towards $200 a share.
$200 is, wow, that's definitely aggressive. But okay, before we get too swept up in the AI excitement, we need to check the foundations. Is the company itself solid? Let's look at the underlying financial health. Because it's easy to forget where Micron was just, last year? Fiscal 2024.
Yeah, tough times.
They did $19.42 billion in revenue, sure. But they actually reported a net loss. That industry downturn was deep. They had a lot of inventory to work through. Prices were falling. It was painful.
A very painful correction, period.
But look at the balance sheet they managed to maintain or even build through that. As of Q3 fiscal 25, this company looks incredibly robust financially. They've got $11.6 billion in cash and equivalents on hand. And that almost perfectly matches their long-term debt, which is around $11.4 billion.
Right.
Which means their net debt position is basically zero.
And that zero net debt, it isn't just, a safety metric. In the semiconductor world, it's like a strategic weapon.
How so?
Well, think about it. When a memory company needs to make massive investments, like ramping up HBM production, which is super capital intensive, if they can go into that cycle with basically zero debt and high liquidity, their current ratio is over 2.3x, which is very healthy.
And they have options.
They have huge leverage. While their competitors, the other big DRAM players, Samsung, SK Hynix, they might be juggling bigger debt loads or other CapEx commitments. Micron has the dry powder. They can invest aggressively in the next HBM generation, the advanced nodes, without wrecking their balance sheet or needing to borrow heavily.
So it strengthens their competitive position, their moat.
Fundamentally strengthens it, yes. Now, we absolutely have to remember the history here. The memory industry is volatile, always has been. But this structural demand pull from AI, from data centers, it's creating these really powerful long-term growth trends, secular tailwinds, as they say. That should help dampen the swings compared to the purely cyclical downturns we saw in the past. They seem positioned to really lead through this upswing and maybe weather the next slowdown better than ever.
Okay, so financials look rock solid. Zero debt means they can fund that HBM expansion, maybe even handle some bumps in the road better. But let's be honest, investors aren't just buying Micron for the clean balance sheet. They're chasing the momentum, the story.
True.
So does the market action actually back this up? Is the stock chart confirming the fundamental excitement, or are maybe traders getting a little ahead of themselves here?
That's the key question for timing, isn't it?
Let's look at the price action. This is as of, say, September 19th, 2025. The stock's been trading in a fairly tight range recently, hasn't it? Between roughly $116 and $131 over the past month or so. Feels like consolidation after that big run.
It does suggest consolidation, yeah.
So what are the key levels we need to watch? Where's the floor and ceiling, sort of?
Well, you've got pretty solid major support showing up between $115 and $120. That seems to be holding. But on the upside, resistance is coming up fast, around $135 to $140. And that's not far off the all-time high, which was near $144.
Okay, so approaching key resistance, what about the overall trend?
The technical picture is definitely still bullish overall. The stock is trading quite comfortably above both its 50-day and its 200-day moving averages. That's really the textbook definition of a sustained uptrend. But like you said, momentum's been building fast. The RSI, the Relative Strength Index, it's up there near 62 last check.
Which means?
It confirms the positive momentum, definitely. But it also suggests the stock is getting closer to being, technically overbought. Not there yet, but heading that way. That's probably why we've seen that consolidation around the $130 mark, people taking a pause.
And high momentum usually means high volatility.
Typically, yes. Implied volatility is still quite high, so you should expect potentially large price swings, especially around news events.
Speaking of signals, we've seen some reports about insider sales during 2025, even the CEO selling some shares. Should that worry investors? Does this suggest maybe the executives think the stock's peaking?
That's always a fair question when you see insider selling, especially after a big run-up like Micron's had. But looking at the context, the filings, the activity seems pretty consistent with standard executive compensation, preset trading plans, shares vesting, that kind of thing. It doesn't really scream strategic selling based on some negative inside info they have. Market sentiment generally remains very positive, mostly because of that AI story.
Okay, so maybe not a red flag there. For our listeners trying to manage their own positions, what are the absolute key dates or events they need to have circled on their calendar in the next few weeks?
Yeah, there are two really big near-term catalysts to watch. First, obviously, is the Q4 fiscal 25 earnings release. That's expected late September, maybe around October 28th. That's when they have to prove that massive guidance hike was real, or maybe even beat it.
If they beat $11.2 billion revenue after already raising it.
Yep, watch out. That could send the stock flying again.
Okay, that's number one. What's the second?
The second is more of a market mechanics thing, ETF quarterly rebalancing. Specifically for the big semiconductor ETFs like SOXX, SMH, that usually happens around October 15th. And since Micron has been such a huge outperformer,
The funds will have to buy more just to keep your weighting right.
exactly. Those institutional flows could create significant buying pressure, adding more fuel to the fire.
All right, so potential catalyst lining up. It does paint a very compelling picture for the upside. Micron as a leader riding this huge AI wave. But we absolutely cannot ignore the history here. This company has burned investors before.
Oh, absolutely.
Cyclicality, that feels like the elephant in the room. You mentioned the AI trend might be different, more structural, but is Micron really immune this time? Can we just trust that it won't end in another supply glut eventually?
That is absolutely the right question, because industry cyclicality is, without a doubt, the #1 risk. It always has been for memory companies. Even these huge AI demand surges, if everyone rushes to build capacity at the same time, you could still end up with oversupply down the road. And if that happens, memory prices can fall off a cliff fast. History shows it's incredibly volatile. Even a small dip in demand could crush those beautiful 44.5% margins we talked about.
So the cycle risk is still very real. What else?
Well, beyond the industry itself, you've got major external risks too. First, geopolitical and export risk. Micron sells globally. Any new restrictions on exporting advanced chip tech, maybe specifically to places like China, or just broader trade wars, that could hit revenue forecasts hard and suddenly.
Okay, geopolitical uncertainty and the bigger picture, the whole economy.
Right, you can't ignore macroeconomic risk if there's a global recession or even just a slowdown in tech capital spending. If the big hyperscalers buying all this HBM decide to tighten their belts, demand will fall.
Even for HBM.
Probably less than for standard memory. It's stickier, but it's definitely not immune to budget cuts across the board. And finally, just a word of caution on valuation. The stock is up, 79% year over year. It's had a massive run.
Yeah, it has.
So while the fundamentals look really strong for maybe the next 18 months, some analysts are advising caution on starting big new positions right at these levels. The risk goes up quite a bit if that AI demand story somehow falters or maybe gets pushed out further into the future, like late 2026.
Okay, so let's try and bring this all together, synthesize it. We've got the stunning guidance driven by high-margin HBM for AI. We've got that near-zero net debt giving them financial firepower. But we also have the sort of historical ghost of cyclicality plus geopolitical and macro risks. Despite those risks, the overall view from the sources we looked at seems pretty strong, right?
Yeah.
Like an 8 out of 10 rationale.
This seems fair based on the current momentum and outlook, yeah.
It feels like the company offers really solid near to midterm upside, mostly thanks to AI, and that balance sheet does provide a better safety net than maybe in past cycles.
Agreed.
So the big question for you, the listener, is how do you play it? What's the optimal strategy here?
I think it really comes down to your investment horizon. What's your time frame? Because of that structural, multi-year demand story for HBM, which should drive more sustainable profits, Micron looks pretty suitable for long-term investment. You're essentially buying into their strong competitive position in the whole AI hardware build-out.
Okay, so a long-term hold for the AI theme. What about shorter term?
Well, given those immediate catalysts we discussed, especially the upcoming earnings report, it also looks pretty attractive for short-term trading. Provided, and this is crucial, you use clear risk controls, stop losses, position sizing, especially with that high volatility in the RSI creeping.
Right. Need to manage the risk of trading it and the valuation now. You mentioned caution, but is it actually expensive?
If you look at the forward PE ratio based on those boosted earnings forecasts, it's sitting around 13 times.
15x forward earnings. How does that compare?
It actually looks pretty attractive compared to the broader semiconductor industry average, which is maybe closer to 16 to 18 times.
Yeah.
And it's a big but. That attractiveness depends entirely on this cycle holding up and Micron actually delivering those earnings the guidance now projects. If they stumble, that PE suddenly looks less appealing.
Got it. So attractive if the bullishest scenario plays out. Okay, let's wrap up with a final thought. Something to mull over. We looked at those analyst forecasts, some targeting a peak earnings per share, maybe around $13.70 out in 2027. That's based mostly on the current HBM roadmap playing out as expected.
Right, the base case, more or less.
But we also know there are these sort of speculative rumors floating around, potential positive catalysts. Things like maybe the U.S. or Japanese governments kicking in more subsidies to boost domestic chip production, or maybe Micron makes a smart strategic acquisition, perhaps in advanced packaging to help with HBM.
Those are definitely possibilities being discussed.
So the provocative question is, if one or maybe even more of those speculative things actually happens, how much faster could Micron hit that $13.70 peak earnings target? Could it pull 2027 forward?
That's the real upside potential, isn't it? That's the leverage you get from having that zero net debt balance sheet in this kind of environment. They have the flexibility to potentially accelerate things if opportunities arise.
Exactly. A lot to think about there.
It really is. Understanding both sides, that structural AI demand versus the historical cycle risk. That's absolutely key for you to be well-informed and figure out your own comfort level with the risk.
Well said. All right, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for tuning in to Investing Talk Podcast. We'll catch you next time.